is going to be asked by Dr. Eric Spack. Good evening, sir. And your question is?
My question is on the availability of health care here on Guam. There's a proposal out there for a private hospital that seems to create two tiers of care for the privileged and underprivileged. Can Guam Memorial Hospital be expanded so that quality care is available for all without the need for a second hospital?
You know, right now, first of all, again, I'll go back to our state-run hospital, the Guam Memorial. I think it's important that we do put the commitment in, and I've done it as a senator, and I will continue to do it, where will we invest more money in the hospital to expand the emergency room, expand the beds. That's important. That is a responsibility of the government of Guam. You also have to take into account that millions and millions of dollars are spent right now for many of our GovGuam workers, many of our citizens in the island, leaving off island to private hospitals in the Philippines, in Hawaii, California, and the States. There is already money being used in private health care, but outside of Guam. I am a firm believer that it's good to have options and choices. If we can bring in and attract another hospital in here that can, especially when it comes to specialized care, it's very important. I'm going to work with our Guam Health Planning Council, get together with the folks in the healthcare industry and in GovGuam, in public health, and in the hospital and the board, and see how we can do a common synergy so that we will have, again, a hospital, a state-run, a territory-run hospital that can provide needed services to all. But then we can also have other choices for hospitalization and health care. And whether it's neurological, or it has to do with cancer treatment, or other types of maladies. I think that's important for options and choices. You know what I want to do? I'm ready to get more, my long-term vision for Guam is having it being a healthcare mecca, improving the quality of healthcare not only for our people, but also to the point where we bring people in from the United States, excuse me, not the United States, from Asia. There's thousands of Americans now, or excuse me, there's thousands of Asians now going to the United States for healthcare. We are part of the United States. I believe we can set up a system and we can bring top quality healthcare, specialized healthcare from the United States, so not only will it help our people, but also those from off-island.
Thank you,
I'm
sir.
for tax credits. I'm looking at right now, in fact, I'd like to introduce legislation so our doctors right now can have some offsets in tax, not only for you, but also helping investors.
Appreciate that. Thank you. You have about 2.5 minutes.
Thank you very much, Patty. You know, one of the things that Governor Gutierrez and I have recognized is really that Lieutenant Governor Cruz not only having accomplished the accreditation, because that's a major accomplishment, and I give him kudos. And when you take a look at some of the plans that he has put forward in terms of improving healthcare, one of it is expanding the hospital, the GMH hospital, so that in fact we can build another wing for a children's and a women's clinic in that particular area. That's one area that we certainly want to continue as it applies to Lieutenant Governor Cruz. You know, when you look at accreditation, and some people have questioned whether in fact accreditation is ultimately benefiting our people, the reality is it does, because it assures the community of Guam that there's a minimum standard that's being maintained and sustained here in the community of Guam that would allow more doctors to come in. But one of the things that we laid out in our platform that was released a few days ago is that we want to work with the local physician community here in Guam. Because before we start establishing specialized incentives to be able to bring some of the doctors in, I was reminded that we need to make sure that we take care of our physicians here on island first and foremost. You know, it brings back a personal story. And this is something that I always like to tout, because 7 years ago, my wife and I accompanied our daughter, who gave birth to a wonderful son, at 5.5 months. Ladies and gentlemen, for 3.5 months, he lived on the edge every single day. The doctor said his chances of surviving was extremely difficult. Even if he was able to survive, that he was going to have some difficulties, whether it's through his limbs, with his limbs, or his mental thought. Well, you know, between my wife and I, the good Lord up above, and our daughter, we believed every single day. We made it a point to go visit the hospital. And not only did we see the wonderful nurses and the staff at GMH provide the services to our grandson, but we also saw the doctors who were there and who showed direct care. And you know, after 3.5 months, 4 months, he was released. And ladies and gentlemen, he just completed his first full season of playing football at the age of 7 with all his faculties together. That tells you that there are miracles happening at GMH, and we want to continue that. And kudos to Lieutenant Governor Mike Cruz for his accomplishment.
Thank you very much for that time. Actually, no, you don't have. We don't have a rebuttal moment because we're finished with this segment at the moment. Yeah. All right. I'm going to call attention to the stop sign up here because apparently we have. Yeah, that's. You want to borrow my glasses, anybody? You can see the stop sign. Listen, that concludes the first segment. We're going to come back on the other side of this break, take about 15 minutes for blood pressure checks. And we'll round it out with more questions, including some for education and military buildup. We'll be back.